So I wanted to talk to you about reality, real life, I think that's an important place to start. And I want to talk to you about hope, and I want to talk to you about possibility, and I want to talk to you about value. It's often when you hear stories like this that for many people the thought is that somebody like myself, my son's gone off to jail and I'm in terrible recovery, I should be very depressed and I should be very angry and I should be very upset about all of these things. But I find that I'm not. I forgive my son. And I sit in a space of being quite pragmatic. Ek weet nie wat is die Afrikaanse woord? Pragmatisch. Die realiteit is vir elke mens wat hier sit, as a parent, you face the exact same risk that I do. Fact. If we don't do anything about drugs, you are as much at risk as what I am. For every child that is yet to decide whether he will or won't experiment with drugs, you face exactly the same choices as Nicholas, my son. And it may be that as he was, you believe that you are able to control drugs and that drugs won't control you. There will come a day when that changes round. And when that happens, life goes out of control. So the question to me when I have to speak to children specifically, and kinders wat keuses het, is to say, where are you going? If I say don't do drugs, like I used to say to Nicholas, Nicholas, please don't do drugs. He used to say, oh, Mom, you're fussing. Jy maak so geraas. You know nothing. It's cool, it's wonderful, it's great, we love doing it. Hou op, Karen. And that was my son back to me. The same son that's now spent 9 months in jail and faces 10 years for attempted murder, 2 counts of attempted murder. So if I look at my son now and I think, what are the choices that you made? Or what are the mistakes that you made? What are the mistakes that I made? There are a few. And we could have chosen differently at any one time. We could have chosen a future. And we didn't. So my task at this stage is now to sit down with people and say, what does the future look like? Are you all going to be me? Is this what the future looks like? Or is it going to change? And my honest answer to you is I believe it not only is going to change, but that it's able to change quite significantly. But it comes to how we begin to value life, firstly. And it's wonderful, you know, when you sit in a church, the one thing you do become aware of is that people have value. People are meant to be saved, to be rescued, to be loved, to be cared for. I mean, Rudolph goes on about the boys looking at the girls. There's something in us. It's attractive, it's wonderful, it's exciting, it's real, and we want to be valued. I find that life sets about trying to undervalue you, devalue you, break you down, make you feel worthless. But every one of us faces choices every day to decide whether we have value or we don't have value. Whether we will live a good life or whether we will live a bad life. Whether we will survive or whether we will enjoy. A place inside myself that burns and says, I can prevent other families from going through this by making different choices, by choosing to stand together and by choosing to say we value ourselves and we value our children too much to allow this to happen. We will draw on our community, we will draw on our friends, we will draw on the institutions that are here to help us, and we will begin to do something about this. And that is my message to you, is that you are not without hope and you are not alone. It will not be easy. I can tell you that it's not easy, but it is doable. And I really encourage every single one of you to find the courage in yourselves to begin to face reality. And all your faith and your belief and all these wonderful things that you have, use them. They are there to make make mountains fall into the sea. They are there to overcome and run through walls. They are there so that you go through, around and over obstacles, and that you get to a place where the quality of your life can only be described as full. But you've got to believe it first. And that is the fundamental thing. God does not do anything without faith. And it takes faith in the human heart to generate that. So your faith, my faith today, is I believe in this country. I believe in its people, all of its people, and I believe that no matter how big the challenges that we are facing are, we are able to find answers to those challenges. And right now, in our communities as a parent, that starts for me with two main things: violence and drugs. And I honestly believe both of them are solvable. Thank you.